So I've written a script for this topic quite a few times. I had to rewrite it here and there, but every time I rewrote it, I was never really satisfied with the results. And I guess it has to do with the fact that this game is something I'm very passionate about. I can't just translate the thoughts in my head to words. I need to get this out of my heart and out of my gut. Like, this is something I need everyone to know. The Shenmue MMO thing that happened back in 2004 was the weirdest, dumbest, stupidest decision that Sega ever made, and I can't fathom what their mindset was on with this fucking game. So if you don't know, Shenmue is a game that everybody likes to shit on. Everybody likes to say, oh, it's so bad. Isn't it weird that this game from back in 1990s was so fucking stupid and ugly and it controls bad? It's almost as if games age badly sometimes. I don't know. But anyways, I like this game quite a lot. But I do understand that there's fair, legitimate criticisms with this game. It can be very slow. It can be very boring. It's not for everyone. But for me, it was so innovative and it was so cool. And even to this day, I like playing it, and it's really nice. It's a nice, awesome adventure that is a pleasant ride. Yes, it is supposed to be like an epic drama, but it's not epic in the sense that it's like, oh, it's you versus the world or anything like that. It's just you trying to find out who killed your father, why did he kill your father, and a bunch of other kung fu stuff happens in between. So it is an interesting game. But it was a hefty cost for Sega to develop, nearly $100 million just to develop this one game. It was a ton of money thrown for a game that didn't really do too well in terms of sales. Yes, there was a lot of praise for this game at the time, but in reality, not a lot of people really bought the game. Even when the sequel came out, it was the same thing. Very high reviews, but very low sales. So with that decision in mind, it made sense that Sega would stop developing Shenmue and not continue the series. I believe there were supposed to be, I think, 6 sequels to this game. I could be exaggerating, but I remember reading one time that Yu Suzuki, the director of the game, wanted to make a ton of sequels, like an entire franchise for this game. It was an epic story that needed to be told in epic proportions. But again, it made sense to not continue. But for some reason, they thought it would make sense to go ahead and greenlight an MMO idea behind Shenmue? Like, seriously? It was weird from conception to announcement to fucking post-cancellation. So when they first announced this, it was a joint collaboration with them, Sega that is, with a Chinese development company that also made a bunch of MMOs. And it was supposed to be something between them. But when they came out with the trailer 2 years later, it was the weirdest thing. Like, mind you, an MMO for a Shenmue was already kind of weird. Like, the fans were already kind of like, that's cool, I guess. That's dumb, but it's cool. And then when they released the trailer, wow, was it bananas. Not bananas in the sense that, oh, it looked amazing. No, it was bananas because it fucking spoiled so many parts of the story. Here, let me give you a quick, brief summary of Shenmue, okay? Shenmue, it stars this guy. His name is Ryo. I forget his last name. Ryo comes back from school. Somebody kills his dad. He's like, why did you kill my dad? Okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out. Then he figures it out. It has to do with something, a treasure that his dad owned. And then he's like, wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna get some sick ass revenge on the dude who just killed my dad. And so he goes on this journey, but he can't fucking afford going to China, so he needed to get a job. He got a job, he got money. Some dudes found out that he has the mirror that this bad guy named Lon D wants, so the bad guy sends more minions to go after him. The kung fu shit happens, and then he's like, hey girlfriend, you're going to Canada, I gotta go to China because I gotta get some sick sweet ass revenge. The girlfriend's like, that's a dumb, really, but go for it. And then he goes to China. Then wacky adventures happen. But then there was this one scene. Now, I'm mentioning all this ordinary plain shit because this one scene, it's spoilers. If you want to play the game, please do. It's really good. Most of you won't because, fuck, I know you. Anyways, fucking most of the game is so normal. It's just you fighting against a bunch of minions with regular ass kung fu, regular ass shit. And then you get jobs. It's so boring. But then at the end, the big twist is that all this magical bullshit they keep talking about, you're like, that's kind of dumb and weird. But then magic actually happens at the ending of Shenmue 2 when a fucking sword just floats in the air. And that's like, holy shit, like that is the biggest revelation, because beforehand there was never even a hint of magic, just dreams of this girl you had. And this ending pretty much solidifies that yes, there is magic in this world, and Lan Di is after it, and you hold one half of the magic that he needs to conquer the world. So stakes are stupid high, because now you understand that holy shit, magic exists. What the fuck? Oh, but see, here's the thing though. We only knew that floating swords was the limit of magic. Yes, there's all this talk of like, hey, he can control the world, but we never saw how until this stupid fucking trailer reveals that the girl he's been dreaming about is some weird conqueror of China that can strike lightning bolts, and there's a phoenix. Like, what the fuck? And then Lan Di turns into he controls a fucking yellow dragon, and he does a Hadouken, and then this Final Fantasy character comes out of nowhere, and then he grabs the mirror, and then a bunch of other Final Fantasy characters come out. They do Hadoukens with Shenmue. Oh yeah, and Rio rather. We find out that he can do Hadoukens, so that's a fucking spoiler. Apparently he can do magic shit. So that fucking sucked. And so all these spoilers, all this jump the shark moments, like, it's crazy how far they went. Like, clearly nobody consulted Yu Suzuki about the ideas of the game. They just grabbed his diary, scribbled a few fucking notes about key points in the plot, and they're like, yep, that's in the MMO, fuck you. And we don't even know anything about the MMO other than that there were like plans that you could get a job. You could like have a job as a waitress, or like you can cook, you can play mini games just like in the original Shenmue. Like, that's so fucking exciting. I want to do that every day. I'm sure that's super rewarding. Like, I love Shenmue, but I don't want to spend my time simulating having a job with other fucking weirdos in Japan and China. Like, that is kind of fucking dumb. Yet and that's so confusing, because okay, so not only did you just jump the shark and you just told everyone every single plot point that we needed to know about Shenmue, like, that's dumb. You fucking spoiled everything, whatever. But why did you think that it was a good idea and a cost-efficient idea to make an MMO? So you're like, okay, Yu Suzuki, we're not making Shenmue 3 anymore, or 4 or 5. Fuck that shit. We're gonna instead make a Shenmue Online. That's not gonna cost as much, even though servers cost a fuck ton, and developing this game is gonna cost a fuck ton, and nobody's gonna play it, so that's gonna cost a lot, and then everybody's gonna hate it because fans already hate it. And it's like it is the weirdest decision Sega has ever made, and nobody talks about it, and I don't know why. Maybe someday I'll actually get like in depth with this fucking video, or rather this topic, but honestly guys, like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I have ever seen a video game company try to do. Like, making an MMO is the dumbest fucking idea you could ever do, because it's so costly. Like, unless you have like a solid idea of what you want to do, it is a dumb idea that nobody should ever do. But not only was this a bad idea in like multiple different areas, and everybody hated it, it was it's just like, it's like they really wanted to just get a fucking Magnum. They just wanted to get a Magnum and just end it all. And it's just like, why? It looked so bad. It's just, God, it was so bad. Hey though, Shenmue 3 coming to theaters soon at a theater near you. It's 2019, 20 maybe. I don't know. Oh, nobody knows when it's coming, but hey, it's gonna be great. Everybody just say thank you to Yu Suzuki. All right, that's enough. I'm done ranting. Goodbye.